It's the end of garden season for me here in my zone, and I have a banana tree that I've planted in ground. Now, this banana tree is called hardy. However, I'm taking no chances, so I'm preparing to overwinter it. Now, right here, as you can see, I have a bit of a cage around the stalk of the plant, and now I'm going to cut the leaves off right here because that's already been hit by a light frost, and as you can see, it's all withered. So I'm going to cut all of these off. But if you notice here, the heart of the plant itself, like the new leaves that's coming out, they're nice and fresh still, even though we're in the end of October. But I'm still going to remove it. And if you notice, I'm cutting the leaves off like high, so there's a little bit of the leaf stalk left when I cut, because I don't want to damage any part of the plant where it's going to be growing for next season. All right, now I'm going to adjust this a little bit so I have room to get in there with the leaves. I'm going to add some more chicken wire to the top so I can cover everything. These leaves here I'm going to use and place them inside of that cage to insulate some more. There's also some dried leaves and so on the ground that I'm going to be stuffing in there for extra insulation, because it's my first year having this in ground and I really don't want to take any chances. All right, now here I extended the cage around the plant so it's now tall up over the entire plant, so I'll be able to put some extra leaves and material from the garden, in here to insulate the stalk of this plant. I want to make sure it's totally covered and that I can protect it as much as I can. Here I also have a cold hardy pomegranate and I have it in ground. I'm not even trying to pronounce the name, but this is the name of it. And it's also the first time that I have it growing in ground, so I'm going to be protecting that. This one is going to be much easier to protect because it's still a small tree. All right, now, so here I've added the banana leaves and I've carefully packed it around the entire stalk of the plant. I just went around and keep adding the leaves from the bottom, packing it in as tightly as I can, and very hopeful that there's not too much damage from the cold winter. Even though this is cold hardy, the stalk of this plant is very soft because of its water content. So this is why I want to make sure I put some insulation around this plant to overwinter. Now I have here some leaves that we use the leaf shredder and we shredded them up. We gathered them in the yard. This is mainly oak leaves and maple leaves that we are going to be putting in here. I'm just going to add it, and then I'm going to get this piece of stick and stick it all the way to the bottom and keep pushing all the way down and make sure I fill this up entirely all the way to the top. No, I'm not sure if this is necessary, but this is just what I'm doing because it's my first year having the banana plant in ground. And like I mentioned, this variety of banana plant is called hardy, but I still want to add some protection for the winter months. I don't want it to be cold hardy and then I leave it exposed to all the elements during the winter months just to realize it was just too much for the stalk of the plant. No, I believe the rhizome might be okay, but as far as the stalk, I just want to take a little bit of extra precaution in protecting it. All right, so I'm almost there, almost to the top of it. I'm just going to add some more leaves covering it. And here we go. This is what it looks like. The entire stalk of the plant is now covered. I'm going to add some leaves to the outside of the cage at the bottom to make sure that I add some insulation. And this is what the shredded leaves looks like. Very dusty in there. And I prefer to shred it for this purpose, just that it falls into all the pockets that are in that cage. Now let's move over to this pomegranate plant. And this is what I'm going to use to insulate it. Now there's a hole at the bottom here, as you can see. Using a hole saw, we drilled out the hole right there. And the stem of this plant is small, really thin. And so it would actually fit in the hole right here. So all I got to do is guide it in the hole. Let me just show you. So I'll just guide it through the hole. And as you can see, the leaves are already yellow, so they're going to fall off. That's normal. All right, so we put this in place. And a little bit of the top is showing right here. As you can see, it's taller than the bucket, but that's no biggie. I'd rather some type of insulation to protect this plant rather than absolutely no insulation at all. So what I'm going to do now is fill this up with some leaves and pack it in tightly to protect it during the winter months. Thanks for watching.